Okay, so I got to see something about, yesterday I heard two different girls talking about stuff I had been talking about. One of them was saying about, I don't remember what she was, if she was saying that she's been speaking to the Galactic Federation her whole life or something. I don't remember. But she said that the same thing as I did, about that we are an experiment, that this is, that they took all the DNA of all of these different beings and they put it all inside of us, because it is us having everything from all of them. We are the ones who are supposed to bring it all together. And that's what I was saying, is once this ascension graduation thing happens, and it is like we take our rightful place at the table with the Galactic Federation, and that we are the more advanced ones, because the stuff that went on Earth is dealing with so much pain and trauma that other beings have never dealt with. Just lay down. I'm doing something. My God. I've been up since 3. She's been doing this since 3. She's already eaten. She's gone out. I mean, she's done everything. It just, oh man. I don't know. I just think that there is a lot going on, and it is, yesterday afternoon, there was a bear out here in the neighborhood right by my house. So, and it's the same place where the mountain lion was before. So, I don't know if it's, a path from down the mountain or something they come down. But it's just kind of like, oh, great. This bear was out there, someone into their driveway, because we just had trash day. They went down there and started, the person hadn't taken their can in, and then they went out and started digging in these people's trash, or knocking their can over or whatever. All the cans smell horrible, even when they don't have anything in them. I mean, they're all are disgusting. So any smell could draw them over there. But, I've been going out and putting all that compost on my garden, which is right out by the road. And so I was like, oh, great. I'm going to have this bear climbing over my fence to eat out of all of this compost in my garden. And then hopefully it doesn't break my gate or something, break my fence. And then in the morning, it's so dark when I let Stella out. Like, I don't know, she's going to go down there. She would smell it. She'd be sniffing around and, find the same exit. So, I don't know. It just seems like I'm just drawing the bear over to my yard or something. So, I don't know. The whole thing is just, there's just so much chaos. They come down all the time in the late summer. Because before it was always, I don't even remember what they would say. It seems like they were always saying that there was a problem with the water that was making the animals come lower by the end of summer. But I don't know. I think it's bullshit. I think it's something with the towers or something that is, making everything just feel super chaotic. It's confused. And whoever is can they were in, they ran them off. And it ran back up into the forest. But the forest is right there. And the forest is so dead. Oh, my God. Yesterday I was standing outside and I was looking out. And it just looked like, past my neighbor's house, it just looked like all of the forest was just brown and dead looking. And it's like, oh my God. And all this stuff that I keep seeing of people sharing, it's sad, because they're doing all of this to just kill everything. They just don't give a shit, man. The other thing that the girl, another girl who I had seen talking, which also was saying something exactly what I was saying, is she was saying that, and it could have been, maybe it was the same girl. I swear it was 2 different ones, because one of them was talking about that we were an experiment and we're being watched, and we are making these big changes for the whole galaxy. And that is stuff that I was already saying. So there's other people who are getting the same information as me. And one thing too, what I think is disgusting is this Martha Vineyard stuff. It's like, oh my God, it's so disgusting. The I have seen people, it's like they're completely oblivious. Like they're not paying any attention. They're so anxious to get involved in some sort of divisive political agenda or something. But the way they come out, and I saw this one where he was like, any of you Christian Republicans that call yourself Christian Republicans, like after this debacle that happened on Martha's Vineyard, and he starts like shaming them, something about the church or something. I don't even know what the hell. And I was like, dude, I don't understand how these people who are still on this one side think it's only conservative Christians that are on the other side. It's like, are you not paying attention? I just had a guy in my comments. I had said something. Oh, I was talking about the money thing. And this guy comes on and says, well, you obviously don't know about the food shortage. And so you are the one not paying attention. Like, dude, you obviously don't know my content. So you are the one not paying attention. God, these people, they just want to come in and just be so negative and harass you. They go in and watch 30 seconds of you talking and they've got it all figured out. They know exactly where you're coming from. It's like, dude, go listen to what I'm talking about. That just is so much like when I started talking more political on my second TikTok, when I started speaking out about the truth. And, there was these people that were like, oh my God, what happened to you? I was like, what do you mean what happened to me? Do you know my content? Like my YouTube channel, that's all I talk about. It's like, I'm not tricking anybody. I've got my YouTube thing. I've gone on there. I've said what I talk about. Is you who, it's that same thing as people decide what they want you to be and you step out of line from what they want you to be. And it's like they fucking spin out, like they melt down. It's like you need to, it's coming up then, it's coming to the surface. You need to be able to accept people for who they are and quit generalizing and thinking because, we both like halters in the 70s, that means that we are both on the same page. It's like, clearly we're not. And the thing is that I noticed this in 2020, is when there's somebody who you like, and then all of a sudden they say something, and you're like, well, wait a minute, that's not in alignment. Then it's you who needs to question your reality. It's being put in front of you so you can question it. Because, like what I had said before about that one lady where she was talking about all of this naturalist stuff and foraging and herbs and everything. And this is before I supported Trump. But she was a Trump supporter, and it was very confusing to me because I kept thinking, well, that doesn't add up. And because none of this stuff adds up, because they want to make it be controlled like that. They want us in our heads to believe that it's a certain way. And it's like all this certain group of people think a certain way, and they're the problem in the world. But there's people who believe it. I mean, when we hear this absurdity coming out of the newscaster's mouth, it's one thing. But when you hear it coming out of other people, it's just like, oh, and people with platforms. Like this one video that I had seen, when I went on and listened, I went in because I've found this is important, is you need to go on and see if this is even that person. When you're commenting, it may not even be that person, because there's entire video collections or entire platforms that is just built on going out and sharing certain videos. Like one thing is disaster ones. You'll be flipping through and you'll be like a horrible flood happening and all that stuff. You have to go in and check and see if this is a real person's account, because there's accounts just going out and getting all this crazy weather stuff and just building their whole account doing that. And so it could have been something that happened 2 years ago, 10 years ago. They're sharing all sorts of stuff. And then, they market it like it's something we need to fear now, because that is really feeding the fear, but then also it is a barometer to the collective, if you ask me, because when they post this stuff, the comments, you can go in and read. And in this one where it was this guy saying about this Christian conservatives and, like, how dare them support these people going to Martha's Vineyard. Like, we got to stand up for the Martha Vineyard people. Like, are you kidding me? God damn. And you call yourself humanitarian, I'm sure. You run in the mirror. Oh, you're such a humanitarian. You're such a good person. It's like, dude, when you are supporting the elitists who live in fucking houses that are bigger than most hotels I've ever even been in, and you don't support the people in the border towns that are being affected by this, and it is so much bigger and deeper. I mean, I don't understand how these people don't see that the people who are crossing the border are the ones that are bringing these drugs, that are getting all of these people in these inner cities, all these homeless people. It's like, as soon as somebody's down on their luck, these people are right there to hurry up and give you a quick pill so you can feel better. And then you are, if you live through the experience, then you're strung out and you can't get off of it, because it is, it is truly a chemical compound to create addiction, to make your body become dependent on it immediately. So, and that's all done. It's all controlled. And you can see what's happening in the streets. It's tragic. And then these people, and besides the fact, this is like the footage that I keep seeing of people sharing what's going on in the streets with the homeless and, all the new addicts, because there's way more addicts now. And when they are showing that stuff, but and they're showing, there's just so many problems that they keep showing of what's going on. But these people who, they just, it's like, are they not paying any attention? Because like at the border towns, it is so bad. It's so much worse than any of these videos. Like, kids are being just kidnapped. Kids are dying nonstop. Because of this drug, and it's in everything. I guess even, I don't know about here. I've been suspicious even here. Like, I'm sure that because the government, like, just like the food bank, the government food, just like the weed stores, the government's got control. So, like I've said fucking a long time ago, they can come in and say, well, yeah, you can use it. We will allow this to grow, but you have to use this certain fertilizer. It's the only fertilizer you're allowed to use and sell in this state. And then all other people use it, when really it is just a poison that is, it could be anything. It could be a poison to make us sick, to get us addicted. It could be anything. I mean, they put addictive properties in chips and all of the snack foods and stuff. They really have something in it. That's come out now. That's no longer me just saying it. That's come out. So the people who are just like, they're oblivious to all of these border towns. Like, if you're a humanitarian, shouldn't you be caring about the people who are in all of these communities at the border? Because they really are coming in and doing horrible crimes. They really are. There's so many girls going missing. There is so much with the drug. Just, oh my gosh, it is mental when you have like 1 million people who are just flooded into these communities, and then these people want to complain about 50, which, all of these people, their staff are all illegals. You fucking know that. So they just wanted to make a point. They obviously didn't need staff. They obviously couldn't help these people out, because that would, I don't know, be doing something for dissent. I don't even know. Like, it is such a bullshit game, because him sending 50 people, he could have sent any number. It was going to be the same thing. They were always going to send him away, because they have to make a stand up against him. And it's all this political play and power. And the people who are at the vineyard, they're the supporters. They're the ones who give the money to the politicians to create the laws. They are making the rules that we live by. They are making the rules that they don't live by. And then you have these people who are so caught up in their ego to be progressive liberals that because they're not going to be the conservative Christians. And they are completely unaware of their own hypocrisy of who they support. It makes no sense. Because if you are really a humanitarian, you would be supporting the people that are having problems, not the people who are creating the problems. It's like madness. But these people are just so oblivious to their own inner beast, And they don't even realize. They don't question themselves. They don't want to see their dark side. And, it is going to create this bad thing that's going to happen. We're creating this horrible thing that's going to happen. And it is so hard. One thing I have been noticing is, like when I was a little kid, and you start realizing that there's death. They start terrorizing you with death. And then people start dying. My grandpa died, which now I know he was always with me. And I think he left at that time to come and start helping me. And after my grandpa died, I started really having some hard times, man. My dad got real pervy and real drunk and stuff. And so I feel like, my grandpa was on the other side to support us through that stuff. And anyways, that's a whole thing. But I think I go off on these too many things. Let me think back what I was talking about. I hope I don't have to go back and listen. I swear to God, I just block myself when I get myself into these, like, wait, what are we talking about? Just if I just could focus on what's coming in. So, anyways, this, I keep hearing hidden agenda. There's a lot of hidden agenda. But, okay, so it is creating this, this event to occur. We are creating it with our energy. It is, and I can't even, oh yeah. Okay. So when I was a little kid and they started talking about death, then I got myself all freaked out. I was so scared about death. And then when, there was something I was going to say about that. I know death is an illusion and it isn't real, but they get you to start fearing it early on. And, but I used to question, like, well, what if, especially because I was always talking to this other side, and they were telling me from the very beginning, we were an experiment and that we were lab rats, and they were telling me all of that stuff. And now I hear other people getting those same downloads. And that's what I was trying to say earlier. I'm hearing these girls getting the same information that I've been saying, which is confirmation to me. But anyways, let me think again. God, I feel scattered. I'm telling you, this day after day after day. I mean, I've been going to bed really early. I usually go to bed like at 8:30 to 9 because I know she's going to be up because she's already asleep by then. And I know every day she's going to be up and she's relentless. And once she gets me woke up, then it's hard to go back to sleep. But anyways, so with death, okay, let me think, what was I talking about? So fearing death, and so if I knew that, I used to think, well, if maybe if I need to know the day, if I knew what day it was going to happen, then I wouldn't be scared. And then I was like, well, wait, what? Then all that day, you wouldn't even want to get up. You'd be like so scared all that day. You'd be thinking, oh my God, is it about to happen? Oh my God, is it about to happen? And that is when I was like, oh, it has to be a surprise. When you're going to die, it has to be a surprise. You would be so focused on it. You would terrorize yourself, consumed with what's going to happen. And that's what I feel like right now. I feel that same energy of like, what's going to happen, especially. So there's some politician or something that said, we're all going to remember where we were on September 27th. It's like, maybe they're talking about something different. I don't know. Or maybe they're talking about something that they know is about to happen. There's so many people that are really, really stuck on this from the 20th, which is going to be Tuesday. So from the 20th to the 29th, there's all sorts of speculation about the shit that's going to go down in these days. And everyone is expecting something really, really bad. And, I don't know. But I know that it really makes you on edge to keep on being like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Like, you just don't know. Like, and it is like, it just reminds me of when I was a kid, and you would think about death, and it kind of just makes me feel that same way. It's not like I think I can die. It's not like I think anything can happen that's not supposed to happen. Everything's going to happen the way it's supposed to. But it is that same kind of thing, like this expectation, this anticipation, like something's about to go down. And there's so many people who are feeling it. So many people are talking about it. And I do think, I've been saying it for a long time, something really big is going to go down, something really bad that's going to be just shake everybody to their feet. And that is going to be this great equalizer that's going to bring everybody together. Is it going to be a fake alien invasion? Are people going to be lasered in the street? I'm quite suspicious about these lines being laid. And something about, because I heard somebody talking about the 27th again. The 27th is a big one. I guess a lot of people are paying attention because of some politician or somebody saying everybody's going to know where they were on September 27th. And so this person was saying, make sure you go out and ground this day. Something big is going to happen. And I can't remember. They were talking about something with the sun or something. This person who was talking about, they live in Illinois, and they said that every single night, unless the chemtrails cover it, that every single night they see 3 suns, 3 setting. So, it's so funny because I think, they just can't hide everything anymore. It's just, but it could have always been that way, but all of us, nobody was paying attention. Maybe it was always that same way. But, we were all just busy living our lives and we weren't paying attention. So they could do shit like that, have suns and moon. And it's so weird too when you hear people talking about the pole shift. It was one thing when I believed that the earth was round and we were in space spinning. I didn't even know all of the bullshit about like flying 1,000,000 miles an hour, spinning around, all of this, all that stuff. Like, I didn't even, until more people started talking about it, I was like, going that fast? I used to say all the time when I was in elementary school and they were teaching us about it, I used to say, why can't we tell when we're upside down? Why can't we tell when it's moving real fast? Why, you ask them those questions. I don't remember what they say. I've asked those questions to other people. People just don't question shit. I don't know. But anyways, the people talking about this shift, but to me it's an energetic shift, but it is actually, it's the jet stream. The other day when I was talking about that there's something in the water that is missing and all those little arrows, it's the jet stream. So there's no jet stream. So that is what I guess is even more chaotic with the weather. Everything is about to go. Like, it really is about to just, a giant change is about to occur, and it is going to be huge. And I don't know what is going to go down. I definitely think there's going to be a lot of tragic shit. And to me, it's like, man, when you're just, especially here, when they already did the floods, which if the water really is going to raise suddenly and change the whole landscape, I'm definitely in a zone that is going to have a problem, and when that guy was talking about on the 27th, go out and ground, and I even commented, I said, that over, especially that 100-mile border of the whole American border, 100-mile inland, they've got control over the whole thing. That is a huge amount of our country because it's most of the people. And they are laying these lines. And I don't know if they're going past the 100 miles. I don't know how deep in that they're doing it. I think Vortex said in Alabama, but you're down at the Gulf. So you're 100 miles in that way, I would assume. So you really go around and think about this 100 miles. And so when they're putting these lines in, and then we need to go out and ground, but the ground has interference for whatever is about to happen. If it's some sort of solar event, which I think that would be later, but I don't know. I mean, something's going to happen. And is this going to be the thing? I mean, I don't know. There's so much stuff, like you get the information, but then it's kind of like you got to wait and see. We got to see what's going to happen. But it is concerning to me that we need to go out and ground, and they've disrupted our ability to do that by putting these lines in the ground, besides the fact that it's completing a current that I think is dangerous. So, I think what else I was going to say. I feel like I'm all over the place. So anyways, I mean, the good news to me would be we're down to the last few days, but it is very tense. This is something that this is something I carried since I was a child too, is the whole concept of knowing you're about to die right before you're about to die. And so this torture, that always just seemed like the worst to me, like somebody being kidnapped and then tortured instead of just killing them. And the whole time they're suffering all this pain and knowing that they're about to die and how scared they are. Just like somebody falling from a cliff and then holding on for as long as they can, knowing what's about to happen. It's that space and time of knowing what's about to happen. That is where I feel like we are right now. Like we're all holding on to this this side of this cliff, waiting to see what's going to happen. Are we going to be blown off? Or are we going to be rescued? Are we going to get some opportunity to climb back out? Which I know that it all is going to go that way. Like that's the part of me that logically I know what's about to occur is a huge change. It's moving us where we need to be. And it's not anything we need to fear. But there is this whole illusion of death and tragedy and trauma that we have to go through to get us into this next part. And it is intense when you just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for this to occur. I don't know how you can go through your life and have it not cross your mind when you know this stuff is happening. To me, I would have to be in such denial. I can go and live my life. I can sit here and enjoy my days, and I can continue to think like, well, if these are my last days, I'm sure the hell going to enjoy them. And I'm going to enjoy the moments. I'm going to enjoy sitting here taking in all of nature and all my time with Stella, which, by the way, oh my gosh, she is farting. This is rough. Which, by the way, I was thinking I'm going to do is I have all of these floaties, like summer floaty things, like big, the big mats and stuff like that. I think I'm going to try and put a couple together or something, at least put something around her so she can float. Because if it is something about the water, that's what stresses me out the most, is trying to save her in a flood. That is in these floods and fires that kill so many animals. Well, when your best friend's an animal, then, you have to, I can't stop thinking about what am I going to do to save her? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I keep going through things like, okay, so if I got a door out, but these doors, the doors that we have now, everything that we have now is such garbage, So you can't go and put some thin made particle board door out there and float on it for very long. You need solid wood. And then you could put some kind of things underneath it. But all of the doors, they're just garbage, So, anyways, I'm always looking for like things that I could make that I could get her into to float until, we can get to land or something. Like, I would think I would hold her on some sort of a floating thing, and then try and walk or swim and get to some sort of shoreline, and then just start walking. And it's so crazy too, because when you think about that, like, we won't have navigation or anything. You just would, I would think, if you get into a predicament like that, just look for other people, look for caravans of people. And but it's that same thing of getting us all lazy and not knowing maps and being dependent on a service provided by AI instead of putting the information inside of us. And then they even wanted to go further. Just rely on AI. Don't use your brain for anything. It's like, no, if we used our brain and we knew our maps and we knew where we lived and we knew how to navigate our own area without a map, without a navigation, then we could find our way around a lot easier. They take down the internet, and people are trying to use that to escape wherever they're at for whatever is going down. I think that it will be more than one thing going down, but I don't know. I mean, is it gonna? I don't know. I definitely don't think it's like the end of the world or something like that. I don't think there's going to be some nuclear bomb and we're all going to be killed or something like that. The aliens always not detonate, but they make it where the bomb won't go off. So because nuclear is really bad for the whole galaxy. So they won't let that happen. But there can be a huge threat of it. There can definitely be a bunch of people who think they're about to die. I still would, that would be a good scenario to me, is just thinking you're going to die. It's like the other stuff where they start doing these, giant sinkholes and fires and floods and the poison. This was mental. I saw a guy, I think this was Indiana or Illinois too, maybe Ohio. Man, there's a lot of shit going on over there. And this guy was out at the lake with a bunch of people. I don't know if he was fishing or just a day at the lake, like picnicking, swimming with the kids or what. But so he's over there and he sees these people over here in hazmat suits. So he goes trudging through the fucking water. There's a couple of like official looking, like deputy looking guys, and then a couple of guys on a boat with hazmat suits on with a big bottle that they are releasing this fluid into the lake. This guy goes walking over there. He's having a video, the whole thing. Starts confronting them, and they're all like, "You shouldn't touch that. That's dangerous." And so he grabs their poison, and he's saying stuff to them, and they don't even know, what to do. And he's saying all sorts of stuff, and it's all on film. And then he took their poison, and he said, "I've got it." If they were trying to poison the lake to kill all the fish or to destroy the water or whatever, it already has the poison in it anyways. But the thing is I was like, oh my God, is that guy still alive? Like, I mean, when you're grabbing some toxic poison like that and carrying it and then putting it in your car, because just watch Mr. Ballin. Mr. Ballin did a story. He's always doing these horrifying stories, but one of them was these three guys. They were just out. I think they were going through the woods looking for stuff or something. They crossed over some fence or something, got into some building, and there's all this old stuff, a bunch of containers, and they're just kind of looking around and looking at all this stuff, and a container fell. And, they didn't think anything about it, and they left. Well, one of the guys ends up dying that day. And I think he was like right next to the container or something. And then I think it was a couple more people in his family died. I know for sure one more, just from the stuff that was on his clothes. And it was some sort of toxin. All these containers had this toxin. It was like to keep them in. Like some sort of, I don't remember what it was, Mr. Ballin has all sorts of terrifying stories, but it totally proves that, when it's your time to go, you're going. And it can be in the most strangest way possible. And when it's not your time to go, the most crazy shit can happen to you and you will still live. Like, that is, I just don't see how people can't see. Like, it is a definite set time when you're going to go. There is no stopping it. It doesn't matter how many of these you put on, how many of these you take. None of that matters when it comes down to your time to go. When it's your time to go, you're going. You cannot, there's nothing you can do about it. And it is, I don't know. I feel kind of just nervous about the whole thing, what it's leading up to. Like, it gets you to where, okay, can I handle this? Will I be able to manage? Okay, if the water comes in, will I be able to save Stella? Will I be able to do this? Okay, I've got my bag packed. Well, you wouldn't be able to take your bag. And, you've got to have certain things. You got to gather. You got to let go of everything. It almost, this week, it has almost felt like I've been saying goodbye to my house or something. Like, I mean, I don't know how much longer I'm going to have it, but I'm sure going to enjoy it while I do. I'm going to love it. This is my creation. I took a little crappy thing and made it into something different. And so anyways, that's all we can do is just really appreciate what we have right now and know that it can be taken from us at any moment. And so you don't want to, not have gratitude, because then if it's taken away, you didn't even appreciate it when you had it. So I don't know. I just think there's a lot of lessons for us to be learning, and a lot of lessons about people coming together and accepting one another. It just is so bizarre when you see these adult people who keep talking about just labeling people like on this political division. There's so much, and oh my gosh, the all of these different groups, they're fracturing amongst themselves, and they're all fighting amongst themselves, and that is going to happen as long as you keep focusing on what makes you different. Everybody is going to always find something that makes them different. Every group will fracture. And it's so we can start looking. We need to focus on what is the same. We need to focus on how do we come together? How do we accept one another? And, there's no reason for us to argue about stuff that doesn't matter. And yesterday I was watching this movie called The Longest Ride. It was really good. It was really a sweet, like, romantic story. And weirdly enough, it had like two stories going in this movie. And one of the stories, I had just seen the exact same story in another movie. So I don't know if this is a true story on that part that had happened, but this one was this girl. In both stories, it was the same. This girl befriended this old man, and she would listen to his stories. And then he, so she became friends with him. And then he died. And then he had all this huge art collection. And so he was having a big auction for all his art collection. We had one particular piece that wasn't done by a famous artist, but all the rest of his was, he had a really, really sophisticated art collection, like from, masters and stuff. Like, he had a really good art collection. And this one piece wasn't by any famous artist. It was just by a kid that they had known that meant something to him. And he had painted a picture of this guy's wife because how much she had meant to him. She was a significant person in his life when he was a kid. So he painted this picture, and then he sent it to the guy. And this was the most important thing to the guy because his wife had passed. And so he, in the auction, that was the first painting that was auctioned. And in one of the movies, it was the girl who bid on it. In this movie, it was the girl's boyfriend who, because it was a whole side movie going on with the two different things and how they aligned. And so it was her boyfriend, anyways, who bought the collection, who bought this painting. Well, there was a stipulation in the will, whoever bought that painting, that the auction was closed and they got all of the work. And so it was just weird because that was the same story. But, I thought that is such a good message, because people don't value what's important. And all the people rush up to this guy. Well, what do you want for the Pollock? What do you want? Like freaking out that they want this artwork, and not even knowing the significance of what it meant to these people. All they do is think of it as the dollar value. They don't really understand about the significance, and it's not about the appreciation. So anyways, it had a good message. But I think that is everything that we're being taught right now, is what is important and what is it that we are prioritizing. And so many people are prioritizing division. And it isn't just the people who are asleep and oblivious that just don't know. Because I think so many of these people who are still asleep, it is because they don't watch the news. They don't pay attention to anything that's going on in the world. So they don't have any idea, because if they watch the news, they would be in fear and they would be really divisive. They would be like these other people who watch the news and continue to bite into that agenda of division. And it's like, well, why is something inside of you not waking up to the truth? Why do you keep pushing something when you're not even questioning what you're pushing? It is, but it all comes down to ego. It comes down to they just want to believe they're on the right side instead of questioning what's going on. So, and that's going to always keep you divided. And you're never going to see that everybody wants the same thing as you, as long as you keep thinking that you're above other people. And that's the whole problem. And, I mean, it's just not by accident that now these people are associated with these elitist Martha Vineyard people. It's like, if that's the people you are on the same side as, you need to question yourself. You need to really look at things a little bit more clearly, because those are the people who are trying to trap us in their system, and they make the laws that protect them. But right now, I mean, this whole thing about they're not even going to arrest some of these criminals, and they've got so many criminals they're bringing in, and the people who don't get, this is the cartel coming in. These are terrorists and stuff. Yeah, there can be some other people crossing over with them, but there is an agenda. There's a huge agenda that is happening, that they're bringing these people in. And it's so that if there's 100 people walking across, it's real easy to stick in 10 or 20 hardcore criminals and have them cross. They're just a part of the crowd. But then they're the ones who are going in. There's so many people who have got another woman whose daughter found a string tied on her car. Like, they're doing all this stuff. They're just going around looking for people to commit crimes again. They're just going around selling their drugs. And all this money just goes back to the funding of the cartel, the gangsters that run this world. And, all of these elitists, you think you need to realize, I think, that the Rockefellers and Rothschilds, the Sora, all those people, they're not going to go out and protect themselves. They're a bunch of fucking old relics. I mean, they're close to dust. Like, they barely are, they're old fucking vampires who have been shorted on blood lately, I think. And that these, they're not going to go out and protect themselves. They hire gangsters to do that. The gangsters that are running this world work for these elitists. And it's not like that they have to be at the same table and talk about it. No, there's middleman after middleman to get this system to the corrupt level that it is. It is just built on corruption, and it is built on all of the corruption to go towards us. We are the not downfall. We are the scapegoats. We're the ones taking the brunt of all of the trauma. And we're the ones that are also keeping this world alive with our blood, sweat, and tears. And we're the ones who are keeping this system alive. We breathe the life into it. It's our blood and it's our oxygen that keeps it alive. So, once we pull free, once we say, hey, I don't want anything to do with this, but so many people just don't believe in themselves. They can't even imagine that they could go out into the world and make it without a job, make it without some CEO over them, And it is just not true. I mean, people have been surviving on this planet way before they developed this slave system. And it is so weird. I swear, every single time I see these pictures and footage that are supposedly from the 1800s, it is such nonsense. Like, there is no freaking way. Like, it is. I don't know when these buildings are from. I don't even know. I mean, their whole thing about counting time and stuff, it's all just bullshit. It's just complete bullshit. But anyways, I mean, there is more being unveiled. There's more under the world, under our reality that is being exposed. It's all coming to the surface. And I think that is part of like why Putin now is going with this. He's breaking the Antarctic Treaty, because we need to see. We need to see what's under there. It's, I mean, some of us already know. Some of us know this stuff. But for all these people, who I get in my comments, well, where's the evidence? Where's the evidence? Show me the evidence. It's like, oh my God. These people with and as soon as you show them, then that's Photoshop. That's not real. It's just they're constantly looking for something to confirm to themselves that we're all crazy and that we're all lying. And so they just want to keep questioning us. And like, whatever. I don't know. I just feel ranty. I feel super tense. Like, whatever. I think it's the 17th. Like, we're getting down there to the days. It was just like, man, for so long, you just want it to hurry up and happen. But when they start giving like, okay, these dates right here, these dates, this is when it's going to go down. It's like, even when I was saying, every bit of time when it doesn't happen just gets us closer to it happening. And now if it is about to happen, it's just so tense to just have that like hanging over us. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? How many people is this going to affect? Am I going to still have any family? Am I going to still have a house? Are we all going to be on the streets? Are we all going to be, or are we going to be having to fight fucking zombies? Like, I don't know. It's so mental. And plus to not know how far does this have to go before it's going to switch the other direction. But in that whole sense of this pole shift, I do think that this is the energetic shift. I don't know how it all works in this physical realm, but there is something with this jet stream and the weather patterns changing, and something about like now over, I think by Siberia, I think it's supposed to get colder or something. All I know is that I've heard that when the pole shift happens, that where I'm at, it's going to be tropical, which I have seen that a few times where I was like, man, I think it's becoming tropical here. And then even that tropical bird that's been out here. So anyways, I don't know. There's a lot that remains to be seen. And, we're just all along for the ride. We're along for the experience, for the lessons that come with it. And so, I think just try and really enjoy your life, enjoy your people, and focus on the things that make you happy. keep on, no matter what happens. Keep your vision on the timeline you want for yourself, not what you fear, what you want for yourself. No matter how many times that it would cross my mind of like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Oh my God, I'll keep circling back and pull back to what I want for my future. And even if it were to never happen, I'm still going to focus on it. I'm still going to focus on what I want, not what I fear. So, I would say just keep working on that. And anything that you get triggered, just try and heal it and try and work through it. I seen somebody else talking about the same thing that I was saying too, about is your vibration. You need to raise your vibration in order to go through this. It isn't about all the other stuff they're saying. You need to raise your vibration. And that is vital. And you do that by healing. So anything that comes up, just keep working on you and keep trying to keep yourself calm, because this is all a mastery for us. This is us mastering our emotions and keeping ourselves sane in an insane world, and knowing our priorities when nothing makes sense. So anyways, just continue to work on you, and we will get through this. Well, some of us will. Other ones will just go into a new reality, and, maybe they're going to, it could very well be the people who transition first are going straight into this new earth, and they can be right next to us because realities are just right there. It's not like you leave and you go far. When you transition out of your body, you just walk right out and go right into, it's just like dreams. It's the exact same thing. So anyways, oh, and by the way, before I go, is when she did come and wake me up, it was almost like I was grateful for a second, because I was having some really weird dreams, and there was some really weird people in my dreams. And then when she came and woke me up, one of the people, when they looked over at me and the death stare they gave me and kind of turned into like not a devil face, but definitely a face of evil. Then I was like, oh my gosh. So they get you in these dreams, and then they sit and terrorize you all night. And then you get woke up, and then you have to try and get through the day. I probably will take a nap today. It's just as exhausting. But I do think that they were in my dreams trying to terrorize me too. And it wasn't like, chasing me around like a monster. No, it is stuff to keep you stressed. And I don't even remember what was going on in this dream, but it was weird. I remember it was weird, and it was tense. And it was just really weird when I woke up, and before I'd even opened my eyes, that guy's face is right there giving me some sort of death stare. I was like, fuck off, dude. Fucking coming and invading my dreams. Get the fuck out of here. And so, anyways, just be aware of that shit. Like the energy is wants to keep people asleep. The energy wants to keep you from ascending, and they're going to continue to harass us. Anybody who is waking up and trying to ascend and do their work, you're going to keep being harassed, because this energy, it's trying to stay alive, and it knows it's not going to stay alive when it turns the other direction. So anyways, I'll just keep talking about nothing. So have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.